Welcome to FOSS Physics of Sound, taught in third grade in the Boston Public School System. My name is Ashley McKenzie. I'm going to walk you through Investigation 3, How Sound Travels. The student learning outcomes for this unit are that students will be able to observe that sounds travel through solids, water, and air. They will compare how they travel through those different mediums and be able to describe how our outer ear amplifies sound. There are two parts to this investigation, and they'll take anywhere from 2 to 3 class periods depending on how you want to break apart Part 2. Part 1, students will investigate sound through air and water, and in Part 2, they're going to investigate sounds through solids. For Part 1, sounds through air and water, there's a lot of preparation for you to do before the class comes in. You're going to need to make 12 of the tubes with the paper fasteners. You're going to need to make one megaphone. You're going to need to have the stethoscopes out and alcohol prep pads so that they can clean them after use. You're also going to need to fill 2 basins halfway with water. I like to have 4 different groups of students. That way 2 groups will be using the water for half the class, the other 2 the tubes for the air investigations, and then halfway through we switch. Have helpers. I find it if they are responsible for cleaning up, things get cleaned up better. Part 2, sounds through solid. This is the one that usually takes me 2 lessons, even though in the teacher's guide it says 1 lesson. The reason why it takes me 2 lessons is I like to add in an engineering connection here and have the students make their own string telephones. I demonstrate how to make one first, and then I pass out materials and students will then make their own. You'll need to supply the paper cups in order for this to happen. I find if your school has the small white drinking cups, you can use those. Otherwise, Dixie cups will work fine. The string telephones can break easily, so warn the students not to pull too hard or the bottom will rip right through. You will also need to prepare the dowels ahead of time. Just place a paper towel on one end and secure it with an elastic. If you do not want the students to make their own string telephone, then you can make a few ahead of time for the students to use in class. Another reason why I like students to make their own is because I like them to bring them home after the fact and share them with someone at home and explain how sounds can travel through solids. Science extensions. If you want to extend this lesson, if you have extra time, a good way is through investigating the string telephones. You can have students take on the challenge of improving the phone system. Use different cups, use different string types, maybe use wire, add more cups. And this is a fun way to have them challenge themselves and share out their findings. Key vocabulary. There's a lot of key vocabulary to teach in this Physics of Sound unit. Be sure that you go over that vocabulary, post it in class. How I do the visuals is a great way, and have the students use it. Both practice while they're talking about their lessons and then in their answers for their questions.